I recently got a Steam Deck, and one of the things I was really excited to try was replaying some old games I loved back when I was a teenager. So I tested a few games from my library and also bought some titles that I remembered but never owned on Steam. And here's my top 5 games that I really recommend trying on the Steam Deck. So the first game on the list is Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, and I remember playing this game on my old PC back in the day, and man, I was really excited to test it on the Steam Deck. And honestly, I was impressed by how good it still feels. Despite the fact that the game was originally built around melee combat and its iconic kick mechanic, I didn't struggle at all playing it on the Steam Deck, even though it clearly wasn't designed with analog sticks in mind. Dark Messiah is an RPG where combat is the main source of fun. You fight with swords, magic and bows, but the coolest part is how physical everything feels. This game is actually more than 20 years old, but the gameplay is still incredibly satisfying and surprisingly unique even today. I highly recommend picking it up on sale, especially when the price drops below $3. The second game brings so many memories. I remember when I first launched it on Steam Deck, I felt like a kid again. And here I'm talking about Painkiller, Hell and Damnation. Killing all these demons and creatures is just pure satisfaction. Games from that era often remind you of a time when shooters were simply about having fun. You jump into creepy gothic levels, fight endless waves of monsters, and heavy music is blasting in the background. This is one of those games where you don't really need to think, you just wake up your Steam Deck from sleep mode, destroy another wave of demons, and enjoy the chaos. The next game on the list is a classic from Ubisoft, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, and there is something truly special about this game. Even though many fans prefer the later entries because of improved combat and a more brutal tone, I personally enjoy Sands of Time the most. The setting, the story, and the overall visual style just hit differently. Running on walls and jumping across gaps still feels smooth and fun. And it did take me some time to get used to the camera and controls again, but once you do, you really dive into this fairy tale-like adventure. The time rewind mechanic makes experimenting fun instead of frustrating, which I still love, but there are a couple of downsides though. The game doesn't run in the native Steam Deck resolution, so you'll always see black borders around the screen. And you can't save anytime you want, you have to reach checkpoints, which was pretty common back in the day. Still, it's absolutely worth playing, especially when you grab it on sale. The next game, and I'm sure most of you know it, is FlatOut 2. This is a chaotic arcade racing classic where crashing is basically half the fun. Cars get destroyed, parts fly everywhere, and the tracks are designed to cause maximum chaos. It's fast, loud, and insanely fun. And in my opinion, FlatOut 2 is perfect for short sessions. You play a couple of races, enjoy the absolutely iconic soundtrack, and just have a great time. And the last game on the list is Crimson Land. And I was first introduced to it by my cousin, and honestly, at first glance, I wasn't impressed at all. You know, just another top-down shooter. But man, this is one of those games you launch just for a few minutes and suddenly an hour is gone, and it's incredibly addictive. Endless monsters, perks, and that constant feeling of barely surviving. Even if it doesn't look that exciting at first look, trust me, once you start playing and unlocking different weapons and perks, it becomes insanely fun. So yeah, that was my short list of some old games that I love playing on my Steam Deck. If you have any old games you enjoy on the Steam Deck, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure there are tons of great titles I either missed or completely forgot about. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.